Got a bunch of stories for you. I'm going to go right into it. Confirmed Democrat caught grooming Sikh Muslim to take over America. All right. No left wing may have the left wing may have officially found their new idol, and we are not happy about it. The new idol in question is Dr. Abdul El Sayed. He lives in Michigan and is looking to become the new governor. He would be the first Muslim governor in the United States history, and it has been noted that he has backup from in the form of Muslim Brotherhood, and this is not good. Via the World Net Daily, having an affiliation with the likes of the Muslim Brotherhood causes a whole host of issues. One of the main problems is we need to consider here is the idea that the organization that currently follows Sharia law could have an influence in our country. They literally believe that they should be sentenced to death for not following the Quran. The plot gets more complex when you consider what people in our country are saying about Sayed. There have been multiple people who have compared him to Obama in terms of his beliefs, the ways he carries himself, and the way he speaks. He has talked at length about eventually getting into the presidential position. We have had enough of Obama during the past 8 years. There's been a complete breakdown of the way our country operates due to his policies and actions. His words alone have incited unnecessary racial tension, and there is no reason we should have been having all of these issues with race in 2017. The worst part is Obama actually convinced enough of his followers to believe that they were oppressed. Our public discourse is broken. Jobs are gone. The tension between different people, groups, is at all times high. Even enough is enough, and we are lucky enough to get a candidate who actually shares our vision and wants to bring America, this country, back to its original greatness. We have weathered the storm, and it's now time to grow and prosper. Keeping an eye out for folks like Dr. Sayed is the only going to benefit us. To keep him away from us, okay? Let me be clear on that. When you look at what some people are saying, it is easy to see what their agenda is. Grooming him. They say to talk Sayed up, fund him, and try to get him into a position where he can run for president. One of the comments that stick out the most came from Dick Mansarini, a spokesman for Secure Michigan. He quoted as saying, "It's Obama too. Elizabeth Warren will be coming to campaign for him. The Democrats in other states will be raising money for him. The DMC number 2 man, Keith Ellison, will be raising money for him. Of course, this guy is going to be on the Sunday morning talk shows. He'll be everywhere. And we'll be watching and commenting and fighting against him." The previous statement is very telling. They certainly have a plan for him. Obama too, are they serious? It almost seems like a joke. You cannot be that surprised, though. We have a witness now how insane the left has become in just the past couple of years. We promise you, Democrats, the patriots of this country are going to keep an eye on you. Consider yourselves on notice. Why do you think they picked Sayed to become Obama too? Comment below. Let us know what you think. Next story. Arrested 153 people in Texas. What they found is disturbing. Yeah, we're going into it. President Donald Trump was predominantly elected by the U.S. citizens to reverse course on the suicidal immigration policy. A new discovery in Texas should serve as further proof that the war on illegal immigration must be won at all costs. Following an ICE operation that lasted from March 20th until the 31st, 153 Mexicans were discovered and arrested unsurprisingly, most of the arrested in San Antonio, Austin, and Laredo, Texas, were wanted for crimes committed in both America and in their home countries. All told, 90% of those arrested were from Mexico, with the other 10% being from ultra-violent Central American countries like Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador. A few illegal immigrants were from Canada were also uncovered. Thankfully, ICE, now armed with renewed purpose, thanks to the Trump administration, is in the process of deporting these individuals. Unlike the last time they were caught, it seems unlikely these 153 will ever re-enter America again. In just the last 3 months, President Trump has successfully overseen the radical transformation of the U.S. policy towards immigration. Despite the lack of a finished wall, and despite the various impediments put in front of his moratorium on immigration from certain Muslim-majority countries, the Trump administration has successfully declined the overall movement of illegals, aliens, into this country already. In March, only 16,000 illegal immigrants entered the country. That's good. This is a 30% drop from February 2017 and a 64% drop from March. In all of 2014, less than 400 arrests were made in connection with the sex trafficking crimes. In 2017 alone, Trump administration completed over 1,500 sex trafficking arrests. Many politicians commented, from Alex Jones to Mike Cernovich, claim that President Trump's hardline stance against pedophilia and child sex trafficking is the root cause of all the deep state's antagonism towards him, his administration, and his supporters. As Paul Joseph Watson makes clear, pedophiles, along with globalist corporations, have an unquenchable thirst for cheap immigration labor, and President Trump is a threat to their power. This is what Trump meant when he vowed to drain the swamp. Let's do all we can to further clean up our societies of criminals, pederasts, and fifth-column elements. What do you think of President Trump's campaign against aliens and sex criminals? Go ahead. Say something bad about that. Next. Joy Idiot Bayer flips out on live TV, gives Ivanka the sick nickname. Man. Get this woman off the air already. The hosts of The View have disgraced this country long enough with their extreme left-wing antics and anti-American rhetoric. Now they're taking pot shots at the first family. Joy Bayer attacked Ivanka Trump by saying it's like going to a hospital and having a candy striper do the surgery. She said in her condescending tone, That's what's going on here. She was talking about the role Ivanka is playing in the White House as being a key advisor to her father. They were reacting to the interview Ivanka did with CBS that tore them the hell up this morning on the morning show alongside Gayle King. They clearly were not happy with some of the views Ivanka expressed while talking during the interview. The View is also a show that has been failing for years and finally needs to be put out of its misery. Their viewer numbers are dwindling as more Americans wake up to the fact that these has-beens have nothing valuable to say. The other hosts of the show joined into the condemn Ivanka. Sunny Hostin and Whoopi Goldberg both made derogatory comments about her. Ivanka's not getting paid, but she's contributing a lot to the future of this country in her role as an advisor. She has the head for business like her father and believes in the mission of putting America first. For those people who have been calling for President Trump as a sexist, he has a trusted female with key advisor role, so clearly he does not have a sexist bone in his body. While Ivanka does not have any direct political experience, that is probably why she is going to do such a great job in her role. For years, where political careerists in her positions looking out for their own agendas, and they were able to create anything meaningful with change. So she'll probably do really well. Now that there is a fresh set of eyes on the unique approach coming aboard, we may finally see our country getting back to the good times. Ivanka is extremely intelligent and exudes all of the qualities that make out a standing American. Of course, she's not going to get paid, or she's not going to pay any heed to these candy striper remarks as she's too busy doing important things like with her time. She already shown us that she again, and she doesn't, I'm sorry, she already shows us time and time again that she doesn't let haters stop her from doing what she knows is right. And neither do I. The hosts of The View can continue talking about those petty nonsense while people in the real world set about making this country a better place. Hey, they should enjoy it while it lasts. They won't be around the air forever. Joy Bear. Next, after a Muslim rapes a 9-year-old girl, Islamic leader has 6 horrifying words. So if you want that, remember that first article I just did with the, was it the first or second, with the Muslim leader who wants to be governor and possibly president one day? Well, guess what? This is what his type of leadership will look like. It's disgraceful that this type of behavior is allowed, even encouraged in the Muslim culture. We cannot let this happen in our country. But the liberals are trying to do it. According to one of the leading lawmakers in Kuala Lumpur, it is okay for rapists to marry their victims. That's right. Hey, he says that girls as young as 9 years old are ready to be married and that there is nothing wrong with rape victims being married to their rapists. He went on to say that it could actually serve as a remedy to Muslim rapists' social issues. Let me read on. Can you believe that a man in such a high position in court of law is saying such a disgusting thing? Young girls are abused and victimized throughout the Middle East, primarily in Muslim-dominant countries, and no one is standing up for them. Men in these societies think that they have the right to do what they want to these underage girls, even rape, and then marry them. Nice. This so-called lawmaker even believes that policies of rapists marrying their victims could be in a way which they can solve certain social issues. All of this came about when certain officials made calls for child marriages being brought in as a criminal offense. Shawabedin instead said the rapist should be given a second chance and try to repent for his sins, which is crazy. Would you like one of these vile men attacking your daughter and then being let off the hook and then became your son-in-law? Yeah, I mean, if he wants to die, let him do it. I'll kill him. He'd be dead. Like, come on in, bro. Boom. 3 seconds later, the man's dead, and then we'll fight the courts and see if I go to jail or not. Who cares? He dies. Thankfully, there are people in this region who are fighting back against the sickening suggestion and standing up to those lowlifes. We're unfortunate that in the age of modern media and the internet, we're fortunate, it says, that in the age of modern media and the internet, we're able to hear about these cases and speak out against them, just like I'm doing. In the past, these criminal situations happened, but were unheard by anyone, because the news was unable to spread that far and had its limitations. Well, I hate to tell you this, folks, but they're trying to cut us off too. Yeah. Now, with so many of these Muslim refugees spreading throughout the Western world, this sort of behavior is becoming commonplace around the globe and in the forefront of our online media. We need to nip it in the bud and ensure that this does not happen in our country. We need to learn from these mistakes of others, learn from their tragic news stories, and not let these criminals into America. Knock, knock, knock. Do you freaking hear me now? This means that Trump's stronger immigration vetting needs to take place, and rapists most certainly should not be let in. A person has to pay for their crimes, and they are not many worse crimes than child rape. Think that was it? Nope. I think maybe it is. But it isn't. Let's just go with this one. Watch illegal brag. She voted for Hillary 5 times. Judge wipes the smug right off her face. Smug grin. The big question is, why is this happening in the first place? Rosa Ortega, who lived in Mexico, recently had to face the music when she was caught voting 5 times throughout Texas in the 2016 presidential election. Luckily, the judge presiding over her case made sure that this illegal immigrant got what was coming to her. He ended up giving her 8 years in prison here in America. And then she's going to be deported back to Mexico. Yes, that is what we can call some good old-fashioned justice.
An illegal immigrant caught voting 5 times in the U.S. is sentenced to 8 years in prison and will later be deported. A Texas jury sealing...
Wait a second. Illegals don't vote in America. That's a lie. The mainstream media's been telling us. They don't vote. When we say that they were, they looked at us like we were crazy, convincing us that we were crazy. So when they looked at us, oh, you're crazy, we believed the mainstream media. And we thought 0 aliens were voting. No, actually, I'm being extremely sarcastic. I don't believe a goddamn word the mainstream media says. If they tell me the sky's going to be blue and sunny, I freaking doubt it.
Sealing Rosa Ortega's fate after she blatantly registered to vote in multiple cities, even after checking the box on her driver's license that she was not a citizen. Her lawyers calling her punishment harsh, blaming President Trump's crackdown on illegals.
Her vote was obviously for criminal Hillary Clinton. And you might think that as bad as this gets, but it gets worse. The license that she used to vote had her listed as a non-citizen. Let that sink in for a minute. It was clear as day all along. When the liberals got wind of this story, they contorted it until it fit their narrative. Go figure. In their version, it is all Trump's fault, and we shouldn't send her back to Mexico because her emotions are above the law, and it makes her feel bad, and she might have kids, and they might be some... Get the hell out of here. Just go. You're out of here. You're going to jail, then you're going to Mexico. And guess what? For 8 years. And you better pray it's someone different than someone like Trump when you get out. That's sickening. This situation brings up a couple of big problems that we as a nation need to talk about. In time, we can resolve these issues, but it's happening now. And currently, can be continued. First of all, we have a problem. This situation ever occurred in the first place. We know that the previous administration did not care about illegal immigration at all. In fact, Obama administration seemed to encourage it. The other issue is that Rosa was just the person who got caught. Many other illegals remain free to vote again. Imagine if 1/36 of the voters voted 5 times. Now imagine how much influence any election that would do, from any presidential to a local. The good news is we have enough legitimate Americans who voted for Trump into office. That's right, we did. Rosa has a common symptom that crops up among the young and the left. She feels like the world owes her everything. This sense of self-entitlement leads people to the disillusioned reality where emotions are more important than dried ink law. We ought to see these folks every day, and we have taken over the news outlets, some government positions. They work with us, and they are in front of us at our local coffee shop. They do not hold themselves accountable for anything that happens in their lives. This kind of behavior needs to change. The change starts with us. We need to work together, support our president, and watch the world change before our eyes. The truth will always prevail. At some point, you have to be responsible for the things that happen in your life. This case is a small example of the change to come. That is our final story. Let us know what you think. Comment below. And also, share this on Facebook and Twitter and all over the place. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please subscribe. And finally, if you like what we're doing here at Not Fake News,